This is just a quick video using some repurposed plywood from a closet that I tore out of my main garage in the house to turn it into some shelving. And I'm going to make it French cleat shelving so that it's adjustable, movable, and it can adapt to what we need it to adapt. I've already broken down my scrap plywood into 4-foot long and 10-inch wide sections. And I just need to trim the edges off because the person who originally built the closet put some molding on here. And I want to be able to put shelves all the way across the 8-foot width. And this is going to be a little too wide side by side. So I'm going to break these down, cut a couple of inches off, and then figure out how I want to make my French cleat shelving for the garage. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a couple of inches off each end because I have an 8-foot span of French cleat material already on the wall. And I want to be able to put 2 shelves side by side and fit within that wall. So I've used a 1-2-3 block here to give me a little bit of an offset so I can knock a couple inches off each end. And I'm going to take maybe 4 of these and knock them off so they're a little bit narrower, so I can have 2 complete 8-foot wide runs of shelf minus a couple of inches. And then we'll figure out what we want for the rest of our shelves, and we'll probably cut these to be a little bit smaller so it's modular and can be moved around depending on what our storage needs are. I've got my fence set 4 inches away. I've got a 1-2-3 block turned on its side. That'll give me 2 inches that I'm taking off of here. I'll use the miter saw to break down these narrower pieces, which will get cut in half and then cut diagonally, and they'll serve as the braces for our French cleat. Nasty. Now I'm going to cut these in half diagonally. And to make it a little bit easier, because I'm going to do it on the bandsaw, I'm going to tape these together into bundles of 4. Seems like a good number, decent thickness. And then I'm going to use a straight edge, link to a video somewhere here that I did on these precision straight edges, and draw my line, and then we'll take them over to the bandsaw and cut them. Easy peasy. They don't have to be perfect. I just want them to be close enough. It's going to be shelving in a garage. And with that line, which may be hard to see on camera, that'll give me 8 total corner pieces, which will serve as my shelf bracing. I thought about making a fancy jig to try and cut this perfectly straight on the table saw, but good enough is good enough. I'm just going to use the bandsaw. And just like that, I've got 8 total shelf brackets that I can use to hold up my shelves. You can see the basic assembly. I'll use these triangle pieces at each end as a support. If I need one in the middle, I can put one in the middle. This isn't going to hold a ton of weight. It's mostly going to hold chemicals for the yard, car cleaning equipment, things like that in the garage. I've got some pre-cut 3/4 inch plywood as my French cleat material at the back. I'm going to use a little bit of wood glue and some brad nails. Stick it all together. I've made a lot of shelves like this before, and in my experience, some wood glue and brad nails are all you need, and it can hold a surprising amount of weight. So I'm gonna get this glued and tacked together, and then we can get it up in the garage. So here is my pre-cut French cleat material, and I like to raise this up just a little bit so that this gives me a lip at the back in case anything small is on it, it won't roll back and fall behind it. It also just gives it a little bit more support. So we throw a little bit of glue on this, and then we'll nail it. Since it's going in a garage and all that, I'm just eyeballing it. What's the over-under on how many misfires I had? It's more than one. Less than 100? Leave your thought and your guess in the comment below. Closest without going over, I don't really have a prize, but comment below. And there we go, one assembled shelf ready to mount on the wall. I'll get the rest of them made, and then we'll take them in and get them installed. There, and we have all of the shelves up that I'm going to build for now. And we can start to put things like a whole unopened case of poppets. I have no idea why, but when you have young nieces and nephews, apparently you're the cool aunt and uncle house. So the shelves will hold all assortment of garbage in the garage, as you can see by this giant pile of stuff that needs to be organized. And now there's a place to organize it. And there is a method to the madness. So these French cleats that are on the wall run about 5 feet high, and they start about 40 inches up. The thought process being, I want to be able to pull a car in here, open a car door, be able to get in and out from this side. And I didn't want this coming off of the wall too far. The old cabinet was a little over 2 feet deep off of the other end of the garage, which meant you couldn't pull all the way in. And if you did pull all the way in, it was hard to get in and out of the cabinet. This is only 10-inch deep shelves plus the 3/4-inch plywood cleats. So it sticks out less than 11 inches and it goes up pretty high. So seldom used stuff can go up on top. More frequently accessed stuff will come down here on these lower shelves, and they can be rearranged and moved depending on how we need to fit things onto the shelves. So really easy little project for an afternoon. Took a couple of hours, and it's made with 90% scrap and recycled material from tearing the old cabinets out. Super easy to do. If you don't have French cleats in your makerspace, your workshop, definitely consider them. They're really great. They're super modular and let you move things around. The way these shelves lock on here, and with these shelf brackets, they reach down and touch the cleat below them. And the cleats are spaced such that there's a 4-inch gap between each hook. And so that gives it a lot of support. Again, you're not going to put barbells up here, but if you were, you could even put strips along the front. If you like what you've seen and you've made it this far in the video, I sure would like it if you'd give a thumbs up to the video. And if you like the kind of projects that you see me do around here, consider subscribing to the channel. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. Thanks so much for watching. Just a quick post-video update. I spent the weekend with my wife. We got all of these shelves up and loaded. We started organizing things in the garage. And as you can see, there's even some heavy chemicals. We've got some fake fireplace logs, and there's even a little bit of space open here where my wife wants me to build some French cleat holders for some of the yard power tools. I also built these shelves so that we can put all of our storage totes on them, and I left space below so that we can store the snowblower in the warmer months. Get it out of the way, we can pull the car into the garage. So I'm quite happy. There's still a lot of organizing that needs to happen out in the garage, but that is how the shelves turned out.